Now let's go to the government response. Here are two pictures taken by some of my friends who went there to help. The first picture shows the local residents helping each other. You can see they have water, diapers, wipes, shopping carts full of stuff. And look at this truck. They're giving out gasoline for generators and for cars, for those who still have cars. You would think that was a FEMA site, right? No. Let me show you what FEMA has at the same location. Nothing. Just a couple of empty folding tables and some chairs. So it appears, at least in this photo, that FEMA doesn't seem overly concerned with saving anyone. Well, you have to ask yourself, if they're not concerned about that, what is FEMA concerned about? I went to their website to find out. FEMA's first goal is not to save lives during natural disasters. Their first goal is to instill equity as a foundation of emergency management. Read the bottom. By instilling equity as a foundation of emergency management, the emergency management community can build a more resilient nation. Here is Deanne Criswell. She is the head of FEMA. Listen to her obsession with equity and admit that she thinks about it every day.
What are you and FEMA doing to prioritize equity when it comes to disaster recovery?
This is something that I think about every day, and this was one of my priorities when I first came into the agency to serve in this role as FEMA administrator. I took the time to reflect as I was going through the nomination process about what are the areas that I really wanted to focus on when I came to FEMA in this role. And through my time as a local emergency manager, whether it was in New York City or whether it was in Aurora, Colorado, but also my time as a federal coordinating officer during my first period with FEMA, working with states and local jurisdictions and understanding the diversity of the communities, not just cities, but the neighborhoods within the cities and the challenges that they face. And how do we make sure we understand what their barriers are to accessing the programs that they're eligible for? So we put it in my strategic plan. I have 3 goals, and equity is one of my goals.
Equity isn't just one of her goals, it is her number 1 priority. Listen to her confirm this to Senator Josh Hawley.
Let me ask you about something that FEMA announced earlier this year, February, to be exact, February 22nd, the new Equity Action Plan. That plan says that FEMA's goals include generating a FEMA-wide definition of equity and a framework for implementing equity in all agency programs. And I've got the definition of equity in front of me. It's pretty long. It's 89 words, references skin color, references sexual orientation. And I also noticed in your written testimony, you list as your first priority instilling equity as a foundation of emergency management. What does that mean exactly?
So equity is my number 1 priority in the strategic plan, and each of the objectives within my priorities, one focuses externally on how we deliver our services to communities, one focuses internally on how our workforce is going to support that, and another one talks about how we partner with other stakeholders in order to deliver our programs. We have an equity enterprise steering group that's made up of leadership from across my agency to talk more broadly about the culture of FEMA and the diversity of FEMA and how we can improve that.
FEMA doesn't just obsess about equity when it comes to race, they're also obsessed with pronouns. Listen to Riley Hurst, the Director of Training and Education at FEMA, tell us that not only do they need to focus on migrants, but more specifically, migrant trans women.
Being a migrant trans woman, there is an undocumented concern. There is also a concern of whether they would trust the places that are offering shelter that are faith-based because of the way they've been responded to in the past. Then if they are accepted, what would happen in terms of misgendering, in terms of bedrooms and bathrooms, etc. And then in addition, public safety once they're inside from those who are actually sheltering with them.
Now you know why FEMA spent $1.7 billion on illegals and left nothing for Americans.